everyone, Max here, Muscle World, and welcome to another video. So today's video is going to be on how to improve your press-ups, but not only that, improve your press-ups, but also increase muscle size as well. And I'm going to show you a few techniques that I've used over the years that I've been training, and these are the ones that got the results in these two departments. First one I want to talk to you about is something that I used a few years ago, and it was right about when I first started YouTube actually, and I was 2016, and I was probably one of the biggest I've been for some time, if not ever. I think actually it was probably the best shape I would say I've been in, or certainly the biggest anyway. And you may remember this video here where I did the Royal Marines press-up test.
50, 60, 70, 80.
And you notice actually, a lot of people are asking me how I was able to do those press-ups that easily. And a few people were quite kind of taken back that I didn't actually do press-ups. I wasn't doing press-ups at this time of my training. I was following a bodybuilding routine in conjunction with some kind of strongman type stuff. It was a bit of a hybrid training program that I put together, and it was a real good program, and I worked really hard for it. I even took my training quite extreme actually, and took like a month off work. I was in a privileged position where I was able to take like a month off work while I just literally lived and breathed training and bodybuilding for an entire sort of month really, and I got some spectacular results as a result of doing that. So the technique I want to tell you that I used here predominantly for my chest movement, my primary push movement, shall we say, it was the bench press, a barbell bench press, and the technique I used was rest, pause, set. You'd start off, you'd obviously do some kind of warm up, you build the weights up with a light weight, gradually build it up, and then you approach your working set. Now with the rest, pause, set, it's one working set, and what you'd do is you'd set yourself a target number of repetitions. Mine was 12 repetitions at the time. So I would put a weight on there, and then I would do as many repetitions as I could. So I select a weight that I would fail around about 6 to 8 repetitions, and I would do as many as I can, reach failure, and then push it. I'd rack the weight as I was approaching failure, and then what I'd do is I'd rest for a few seconds. I would sit up, I'd shake my arms out a bit, and I would rest. I would rest for 3 breaths. So I'd always do 2 or 3 breaths, so just whatever, how long that takes to do those breaths. After that, then I would go straight into the next set. I'd do as many as I can till failure again. So usually be maybe 2, 3 repetitions, sometimes 4 at a push. I'd rack the weight again. It would usually take me about 3 or 4 sets to complete the 12 repetitions. And that was a rest pause training. So the idea is your muscles can actually recover quite quickly in a few seconds to be able to squeeze out those last repetitions. So that would be the rest pause training there. I also use other things such as drop sets. I'm a very big fan of drop sets. I used to do a lot of high volume bench press work where I would do 3 or 4 sets, usually in a pyramid fashion, about 4 sets of that. And then what I would do then, my final sets would be drop sets where I would do as many as I can. I'd take the weight off, jump up, strip the bar, bang, 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 do as many as I can, and just do a few of those just to really overload the chest. And back in those days, those high volume workout routines, my chest would be sore for days, and I was able to get quite a bit of size on there. My training these days, I don't really do so much of that anymore. However, if I were to go back into that style of training, that's exactly what I would be doing. But it turns out then that when I was able to do press-ups, and I attempted this test, and I hadn't been doing presses for training, I was able to have a lot of power and a lot of reserves, particularly in my arms, and my chest and my shoulders. They had a lot of power in them. I wouldn't say just do bench press. I would say do bench press, but also there are other exercises to do, and practicing press-ups would be one of them if you particularly wanted to get good at press-ups. Primarily then, that's a bodybuilding routine, bodybuilding, muscle building routine. However, the side effect is you do increase your pushing power and also your endurance pushing power. Tip number 2, another exercise that I found particularly useful was dips. So parallel dips or bar dips. Good controlled repetitions with those, all the way up, all the way down as much as you can. Obviously, if you go in too low down, you might strain the shoulder joint, so just beware. Usually about 90, so the upper arm is about 90 degrees, or parallel to the floor is usually about right, depending on your flexibility. But usually you don't need to go much lower than that, unless you're particularly able to. Once you've built up with your dips and you're doing 20 plus repetitions, then you can add weight and do weighted dips, and they're excellent for increasing the tricep power and strength. But it also is a brilliant exercise for the chest, particularly the lower part of your chest, and it depends on your body position as well. You could lean forward to hit the chest a little bit more, or if you go more upright, you'll find it working the triceps a little bit more. But whichever one you do, you're going to get a good workout in these areas. You could even progress and do it on a set of rings if you wanted to as well, and that will really increase the strength coming from your triceps, and your triceps will pop out from doing it on rings. Third final one I wanted to talk about now is actually doing press-ups. How are you doing the press-ups? Another method you can use, I call it the Punisher set. And the way you do this is you do as as many press-ups as you can with good form, and you're doing them controlled. You're not just bouncing through them. You're going all the way up and all the way down. You're making sure you're fully extending your arms. You're giving yourself a target. So say 60 would be a good target for the press-ups, or depending on your fitness level anyway. So what you do is you do as many as you can. Now it's controlled, all right? You're not just bouncing through them. So you shouldn't be able to do 60 in one set if you're picking that number. Say you get to about 20, 25, and then that's when you start to reach technical failure. What that means then is you can't complete the form without kind of cheating a little bit. Once you reach that point, that's when you're going to fail, okay? You're not allowed to, it's counterproductive if you start having to push up or lose form to do it. So once you reach that point, that's when you take a quick breather. So say that's 23 repetitions where this happens. So you get to 23, you reach technical failure, and then you stop. What you do then is you rest again, 2 or 3 seconds, and then you go back into it, and then you do as many as you can, but you count that previous repetition as well. So you start off, say you fail at 23, you go back to do 23, 24, 25, 26, and you fail at 26, you go back 26, 27. So the reason why is because you're increasing this rep is because it's kind of like a mental battle. If your brain thinks, oh, okay, it's all right, I'll just take little breaks, and the more breaks I take, the longer it's going to take me to do it. But then it also means the more repetitions it's going to take for you to do it as well. So if you just want to get it done quickly, then you're not going to add these extra repetitions. So you do that until you reach your goal of 40, 50, 60, whatever it may be. But set a realistic goal and something that you're going to have to push yourself through. The idea is then that every time you reach failure, you are pushing it, and you might get to the point where you're only able to do 2 or 3 repetitions with each set, and that's fine, that's how it's supposed to be, and that's something that I'm doing with my training now. And I find that when I get to that point, I sometimes I can only do 2 or 3 reps, but in my mind, I'm trying to push myself. So I'm saying, right, okay, I'm going to try and do 4 reps on this one now. And so I will try and push that for a 4th one, because otherwise, the more sets it takes you to do it, the more repetitions you're going to end up having to do anyway. So that's just a technique that I found quite useful, and something I've been doing lately. And it's a real good challenge, actually, and you get a real good burn from it as well. Just do the 1 set of these ones. Obviously, make sure you're warmed up beforehand. But Punisher press-ups, if you want me to do a video showing more information on that, then let me know, and I'll give it a go. But if you haven't tried that, let me know how you find it. Let me know how you find these techniques, and if you've got any suggestions, put them in the comments below of what you've done to improve your press-ups and also to increase your muscle mass, because all these will help you. Then by all means let me know, and I just want to say thank you very much for watching. So like I said, 2016 was a good year for me in terms of fitness. When I first started sort of really getting into YouTube, and I was in quite a good shape, possibly the best shape I think I've been in, biggest I've been in for a while. So you can check out these 2 videos here, and it'll give you a kind of idea of what sort of videos I was making at the time were. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.